Now back to Property Source Radio with your hosts, Brenna and Pat, on Sports Radio 950 ESPN.
Welcome back, Property Source Radio, 222-6397. The phone numbers to get involved. You can email the show at propertysourceradio.com. Click on Patrick to email. We'll get your questions online. The discussion we just came off of was pretty heated, pretty into it. So, but we want to talk a little bit about this tax credit, and we're ending it basically next week. Next Friday is the end of it, right, Roxanne?
April 30th, you have to be under contract, which means
get closer. It's not going to bite you.
You have to be under contract, which means everybody has to have signed off on and agreed.
Now, we had Carolyn Stifler on last weekend, and I said, there's got to be a loophole there, because what if you don't have a signed purchase? As long as you close by the date you're supposed to close, how do they know?
Yeah.
How do they know? You got to send over.
Well, there's dates on the offer.
Oh, yeah.
There's dates on the offer, and that goes with the mortgage?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. The offer has to go with the mortgage.
Oh,
or it has to go
okay.
to the underwriter to look at.
Because Carolyn didn't know that answer, but she said talk to the CPA, because I didn't even know.
Yeah, no, there's dates on the contract. The contract goes to the underwriter, and they know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you submit this for your credit, is it a credit or is it cash?
It's cash.
So you get a check for $8,000.
Yeah.
I heard somebody that said that there was interest in that $8,000 too.
They
got a check for like $8,200.
Really?
Oh, really?
I don't know why. I mean, I don't quote me on it, but that's what I heard from someone. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, because you can actually, even if you've, obviously a CPA would
know most.
Know most, but you can file an amendment if you've already filed your taxes. You can file an amendment to get the $8,000
for next year or for this year.
For this year.
Wow. Okay, that works.
Yeah.
I'm going to just fill out a blank, if you don't mind seeing me after the show. I'm going to fill out a blank contracts for my income taxes this end of the year. You know what I mean? Thank you very much for the offer. The contract. Fraudulent contract, that is.
God.
Do you look good in orange?
You know what? I don't know. I should try.
Jumpsuit?
I should try some orange on. Yeah, I may find out. I'm going to the place where they got the golf course, so I guarantee you that.
There you go.
I'm going down big.
So orange golf shirt?
Yes. Yes, Roxanne.
Oh, fun. Okay, so what else we got? Tell me a little bit more about the process as far as finding a house. I mean, okay, let's just break this thing down real quick. We got 10 minutes left here,
okay.
9 minutes left, whatever it is. So you get these buyers.
Right.
They say, we're looking for this type of house. Now you put them on a list and you say, okay, I'm going to show you.
Right, and we find your house and we sit down and we do a market analysis of where the house sits in the market. If it's well priced, we write the offer. Once the offer is signed, we submit it to the seller's agent. They come back.
Wait. When they talk about the offer, they say, okay, let's say the house is $100,000.
Right.
And they say, your buyers say to you, listen, I'll give you 85 for it. And then you rate, or 90,000. Is that too aggressive right there, 85?
Well, they're standard.
I mean, that's probably a lot of people think that way.
There's a little bit of margin, but it depends on where it is. I mean, if you're looking in the South Wedge and it's $100,000 and it's adorable.
I mean, everybody wants a deal, are they not?
Well, everybody likes a sale. Me first.
Are you afraid? Are you afraid to present a low offer?
No, I'm not afraid to present a low offer.
Okay.
What I find is that if you never know, right?
Mm-hmm. True.
So,
I mean, it's like a starting point. I look at it as, okay, where are we going to start? They want to start at 100. I want to start at 85. Let's work from there and let's find a happy medium.
But that's a 15% discount. So if you are talking about a house that's $200,000, because that's how good my math is,
wow,
that's like making $170,000. Now, if you're the seller of that $200,000 house and somebody comes in and says, "I'm going to offer you $170,000," what happens is the buyer doesn't expect to really purchase that house at $170,000, right? There's that element of surprise of, if I put this quarter in the slot machine in Vegas, I might be a millionaire. But so
a good analogy.
There's a little bit of a, okay, well, there's a process of discovery. But chances are, that you're not going to get that house at $170,000, and chances are your realtor has sat and pulled all the houses on the street and in the neighborhood and sensitized you to the price of the house.
Yeah.
As a representative for a buyer, you would probably tell them, say, we can't go that low. Or...
Well, the thing you don't want someone to think that you're not representing them. The difference in commission between 170 and 175 is really nominal.
Right.
If you really, really want that house and you trust the person that you're working with, and you should have trusted, because you really, realtors, there's a lot of us. You can interview someone until you get to that place where you get the warm and fuzzies and you know that someone is dealing with you fairly and honestly.
Right.
So
that's important.
If they're counseling you and saying, okay, this is where the neighborhood sits, this is where the market sits, this is what the house looks like it's worth. And also you have to trust the listing agent. I mean, that listing agent has walked through the house. I mean, as a listing agent myself, you walk through the house, you talk to people about improvements, you talk to them about different things. So it's a fine line between really doing the lowball offer just to see if you'll get it, and risking sort of it's not even insulting. It's just that you can offend when it's yours, right? You're calling somebody's baby ugly. Yeah, that's never a good start.
Okay, we gotta well, hold on a second there.
I love the analogies today.
So we've got so they put a purchase offer in.
They put a purchase offer in,
now
and we sign off because everybody's happy. It's a win-win situation, which is the way you want a real estate transaction. Because no one wants to be you don't want to be in a contentious. If it's contentious from the start, it's just going to continue. There's not going to be a happy, flowery moment.
Yeah. So, so now let me ask you something. I've been hearing from a lot of realtors. It's like once that purchase offer is signed, that's when the work starts. Am I right?
There's for the inspection,
my work starts.
That's when her work starts. But tell me about that process after. What happens after they sign a purchase offer? Who wants it?
Well, the attorneys get it. They sign off. We're an attorney state, which means you close at an attorney's office, not an escrow state, which is something that we try to tell all of our out-of-state buyers because it's a little bit different than just handing it over to the escrow company. You write an earnest money deposit check that goes to the listing broker, and that gets credited back to you at closing. Attorneys get it to approve the contract, and you schedule a property inspection if you have that contingency in your contract, because on the contract you will have a financing, a mortgage contingency if you're not paying cash. You'll have a property inspection. If you have something to sell, you'll have a sales and transfer of title contingency.
There's a lot of stuff to that.
Yeah, there is a lot of stuff.
That's where it just starts right there.
Well, that's where the not fun part, but as realtors, we like houses, we like people, we like getting out there, and then our paperwork starts.
Right.
And it's a paper trail. And since what you want is to have an educated person educating you on what's coming up next, so you're not blindsided, so you know what the path is to home ownership.
Now, what about the inspections? I mean, anything down the road can kill a deal, right? So, like, let's say the inspector comes in and he says to you, the people is like, it needs this, this, and this, and they can walk right there, right?
Well, if it's a safety or a structural thing, I mean, if the inspector is
does
called,
the mortgage
you can ask
also
the seller.
Is they do an appraisal on the house too? The mortgage does.
Yes, they do.
FHA. Here's Paulette. She's going to talk about FHA appraisals and how that.
FHA appraisals are a little different than conventional appraisals.
Okay. Well, we had a lot to talk about here, and not enough time. That's what it sounds like. The music means we're winding it down here. That's the end of the show. Pat, what do we got next week? What we got next week? We got a home stager next week.
Oh, really?
Remember Kristen Noble?
Yes.
She's coming back.
Come on, that'll be fun.
She'll be back.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Roxanne, Paulette, I want to thank you for coming today. We appreciate you guys being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.